What if I told you that you've been using hand tools while engineers have had access to power tools this entire time? If you're still copying and pasting between ChatGPT and your apps, you're working like it's 2023. Welcome to Claude Code, where you get something the web interfaces can't give you: autonomous agents that research, execute, and connect your entire workflow without the back and forth. Think Slack, Gmail, Linear, Trello, all working together while you focus on what matters. Hi, I'm Saurabh from Red Brick Labs and Not Robots. And whether you're an executive, product manager, or an analyst, this intro will change how you work with AI forever. I'm going to show you how I went from a single prompt to having 5 agents working in parallel. Let's dive in. What is Claude Code? Claude Code says it's built for developers, but actually, it's not just built for developers or coders. I think it's honestly built for everyone. It's a tool. It's been locked in this tool shed for engineers for a very long time. And in this tool shed there's all these power tools there, and we're here to unlock it for you guys. So Claude Code is here. The easiest way and the only way to get started is you'll see on this website here there's a npm install command. So we're going to click it, which will copy it. And yes, you do need a Claude subscription. The cheapest subscription works. You could also do pay per use through the API. And if you really want to get started and you don't have a Claude subscription, try the API out for a couple of dollars. So this is how you do it. We're going to copy this. And then we're going to go right into the part that scares a lot of people, which is Terminal. So on your Mac, you have this app called Terminal. So it's scary for anybody who's never used it. And then also, making it bigger here. Also, for if you're on Windows, I think it's called Command Prompt or PowerShell. And then this command that we copied here, we're just going to paste it. That's it. And you press enter. I actually already have it installed, so it's going to shoot a bunch of errors and whatnot because I already have it installed, and also it's saying I don't have enough permissions because on my Mac I do have a little more permissions, and so there is a way to enable administrator permissions, which would be sudo, and then you paste it, and then it will go and do it. And so it's asking my password. We're just going to go through it, and it's done. It's that simple. Now, the first time you run it, and the way you run it is you just type in Claude, and let's clear all this junk. You just type in Claude, and when you type in Claude, it'll open up and it'll ask you to log in. So it's very simple to log in. It'll give you a link that'll open up Claude.ai, and you just sync your Claude.ai to the terminal. It's actually very easy. And here we are. So we're going to give you guys some examples of what it could do. So it has access to my computer right now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open this in a coding terminal because I also want you guys to see what kind of files we're dealing with here. And this is completely free for you guys to do. This is my IDE. On the right, I like this view because I can see the files that Claude Code would have access to. So for example, I'm in my Claude Code demo right now. I'm just going to launch terminal. It's the exact same thing as you saw already. We're going to type in Claude. And here we are. So what I have here is this is the blank project, and I want to do a bunch of research. I want to do some competitor analysis on Red Brick Labs, which is my company. And I want to be able to figure out what all the ideal clients would be for my company. So I can say stuff like, analyze redbricklabs.io and identify ideal client profiles for their AI automation services. Cool. And then it goes and it launches and it does its thing. What I really like about it is that it's interactive, where it asks you for permission, which is amazing. So do you want to allow it to connect to the internet? Yep. While it's going on the internet, well, I just asked it one question. But if I were to cancel this, by the way, to cancel anything is escape. And if you want to exit the terminal, it's Control-C. So I just gave it one command, right? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to say the exact same thing again, but I'm going to give it a little bit more complexity. All right. Can you analyze redbricklabs.io and identify ideal client profiles for their AI automation services? I would like you to save it in a folder called completed research, and then save your findings as a markdown file. The more important piece is I gave it the command to take all of this research and actually do something with it, which is make a new folder in this project. And then I also told it to save it as a markdown file. And so what's happening here is it's launching all 5 agents in parallel, and it's just asking me for permission to go on the internet. So do you want to do web search on Rubric Labs, blah, blah, blah? Yes. The next one, yes. I've completed comprehensive market research for Rubric Labs by launching 5 agents, blah, blah, blah. Here's all the stuff. Now, here's something that's really neat you could do. I like doing these kind of reports, but over time, I don't like reading it in this kind of format. What I like to do is I actually really like using notebooks. So, you guys may have used like Apple Notes. You guys use Evernote back in the day. I don't know if they're around anymore. There's just all these different tools for notes. I actually really like using something called Obsidian. When it runs locally, it actually uses markdown files, which then makes it really simple to use. So anything I do now on Claude Code will actually pop up here. So for example, here's completed research. Here's a file that was just created. And now it looks nice and beautiful. Executive summary, target, etc., etc. I also, on the back end, sync this folder with my Google Drive, so it's available everywhere. And yeah, this is an example of a very targeted, deep research that is not just using whatever is in the trained model, but I really want to make sure that we're using specific data that is live on the internet. This is the other part of it where I was like, hey, go make me an interactive visualization. So obviously it looked at all the reports. It got me a bunch of stuff. Great. But I want to see if it actually made me this HTML file, because that would be very nice. Okay, here we go. So my competitor analysis was based on the different types of pops, and I wanted to completely make it up. And so it's a very nice interactive graph. It's the infamous dirty, bluish background because it's like generic AI. I didn't give it any specific information of how I would want it to look in terms of colors and brands. Obviously you can. And so the point is that it's HTML. It is very interactive, so I can see along the way, and then I can continually chat with Claude Code to make changes. And so the difference with this now, especially with ChatGPT and Claude, is that over time, I know Claude has artifacts, but Claude will lose context window. And you have to make sure that this is always sitting inside the project folder on Claude.ai. And I don't trust it always to always have the context window. I want to control context, meaning if I want to refer to this chart in the future, I can drag it into the context. Because guys, context is important. That means, you have about 200,000 tokens per window. And even if you get to 50% of that, you continually lose more and more intelligence in the models. And so you want to make sure that you don't have useless context sitting in the window when you're talking with AI. Found this tutorial useful? Are you interested in building with AI and software? Then join our community of 400 people on Discord. I'm there daily. I'm sharing the latest open source repos, releases, and anything cool I find on GitHub. I'm basically using these channels as my public notepad. Remember, it's completely free to join. If you want to stay updated on all the new videos, local events, and live streams, then head to notrobots.ai and sign up. We're launching soon, and I'd love to see you there. Peace.